us.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to the Canadian Bro Show. We're very excited to have you. Before we go any further, my name is Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show, and this is the first iteration of 3 iterations in the program over the last sort of 13 months. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't been here before, we are a new channel, and we're growing nicely, and we've been at it, like I say, for a little over a year, and we do quite a bit. 61, this is 62 episodes on Canadian pop culture, and we have the second iteration, which is all basketball from the Hoop Junkies, Pauly and Raleigh. And we have about 104 episodes. I think this will be 150 now. And thank you for joining us. I'm just going to switch back the music. This is one of our theme songs. And just a reminder, if you enjoy this free content on our YouTube channel at The Canadian Bro Show, subscribe button there. We appreciate that. Any and all times. New changing music, our other theme song. Here we go. Yeah, and I just want to
elevating myself a little.
Yeah, I can see. I was wondering. I was going to ask you because everybody else is watching as well. It's like, what the heck is going on over there?
He has ants in his pants.
Yeah, it's the co-host of the Mo. First of all, the episode on the ticker below is there, but let me introduce my co-host of the most, and that is Mr. Johnny Leister. And Johnny and I are old friends of I guess going on 53 years, believe it or not, and it's quite remarkable to be able to do this with him and a friend and my other friend Trent. And our current episode that's happening right now is episode 61, plus 55, thriving, nurturing your body, soul, spirit, aging for longevity. Special guest once again for the third time. We always welcome back Jonathan J. Brown. He's a renowned published author, celebrated musician, and certified athletic trainer and life coach. Oh, right. And kind of like Johnny, he's a man that has many talents, and they shine through in every possible way. And it's always nice to have you back. And so we're doing Johnny and I've been doing a health series, and for any of those that have been watching, this is about our 6th or 7th episode, and this really is sort of a continuation of the episodes that's currently running on YouTube. We are filming. Johnny's in the Vancouver Library. He's the only person I know in Vancouver, in any city in the world probably, who has his own studio in a public library anytime he wants for free. That's how accomplished writer he is. We'll get into more about that later. Thanks, Johnny. And while he's in Vancouver, and that's my hometown as well, I live in Vancouver and Kelowna. I'm in Kelowna, and welcome to The Art of the Evolution of Health, episode 62. We're exploring the possibilities of extending longevity. It's really part 2 of the other episode I was just mentioning. It all Canadian with Pauly and Johnny. And the second iteration is the 2026 NBA hoops, and that is all basketball from the Hoop Junkies, Pauly and Raleigh. In the meantime, Johnny, let's get this show going.
Let's get it on!
Let's get it on. And so we want to talk about our continuation of what we've been talking about. I've just turned 61 about 6 days ago, and Johnny just turned 60.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, kindly. And we had a great episode on my 61st birthday. That is currently the episode 61 that's filming, so have a check it out. Check it out. Subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know what we can do better and what we haven't done, and how we can, what we haven't done, do better. And in the meantime, this episode's really, it's a second part of plus 55 and thrive, and then survive.
Evolve.
And Johnny and I've got a top 10. I wrote this. We were supposed to incorporate it in episode 61, but by having our guest host at the most, who's been back with us 3 times, the amazing, talented, and just an extraordinary human being, Jonathan J. Brown, graced us with episode 61. So please check it out. It's really incredible. And it will open your eyes. And this is a continuation of that. We can't have Jonathan every week, but Johnny and I are just really into this because all 3 of us, Johnny, myself, and Jonathan, we all had life experiences about almost the identical same time in our history and lives at 3 different places in the world. And we all had epiphanies, and we all had different things that happened. And here we are, 100 and how many did I say? 104, 5? It doesn't really matter. But we're getting it done. And the thing is, the content, to be able to have the avenue and YouTube to provide us with, that experience to showcase. We're not doctors. We're not athletic trainers like him, although I used to play professional basketball. Been an athlete my whole life. Johnny's an exceptional writer. We are just a couple of Canadian dudes, eh? And we want to share Canadian content. We're very proud Canadians. We want to talk about the Canadian pop culture and some politics and history and sport, art, travel, food, literary, music, you name it. This is all at the Canadian Bro Show. And thank you for joining us. This is episode 62. And Johnny, with regards to what we just started and opened with, tell me, how you doing? What's going on in Vancouver? Is it raining or is it sunny right now?
It's unusually warm for January. Usually below 0. I think it's about 6 degrees right now. It's sunny. It's quite beautiful, actually. Yeah. I uploaded plug. For those of you watching for the first time, a self-published author. Easy for me to say, Captain Articulate strikes again. My boy's named Lee Hacklin, and I published another one today. This one is called "Who Killed Captain Skyward," and it's based on the Shazam TV series that I'm sure Paul and I watched religiously. Well, I know that I did, and I'm pretty sure that Paul did too.
Shazam!
And Jackson Bostwick, who played the original Captain Marvel, is one of my he was one of my very first Facebook friends. I actually reached out to him, and he gave me a shout out. And so
I remember you told that before. That's pretty awesome.
It's technology where we can reach out to people, and gosh, I mean, you just meet the most phenomenal individuals. So that's my day so far.
Sounds like a pretty good day.
They didn't have the webcam available, and I left home, so I had to buy a new one. And I went to Staples, and guess what? It's gone. It's like it wasn't there. Like aliens abducted it. What
do you mean the aliens abducted what?
It was like they cleared out of business. Like there's a crop circle in this place. So luckily I found another Staples, and I was able to get a webcam. Thank goodness.
Oh, so you were on the Georgia one? Not Georgia, but
Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour downtown.
Staples.
So what you're saying is closed?
It's gone. Yeah.
Well,
please sign in the week.
Welcome to the 21st century retail apocalypse in not just Canada, everywhere in the Western world.
You were kidding. I mean, I was really shocked. I mean, Staples has been there. Staples is a staple of Vancouver.
Well, from what I understand, it's I believe it's an American company, but they like to float that it's a Canadian company.
Yeah, that's a good name for a Batman villain, the Stapler.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that sounds dangerous. We might have to do an episode on that, but let's focus on the art of evolution of health, Johnny. You're 60 years old. We both have epiphanies. We've talked about it many times. And I read your notes in pre-show, and I have to say it's nice to see you're prepared. And you've got some juicy stuff. What would you like to share with us? And your interpretation of what is good for you or what people need to hear? Sure. Let us know.
Well, as we've been doing this for almost a year now, I have a tendency to filibuster. So just cut me off at any point because
13 months, actually, over a year now.
Holy moly! And I'm the Ed McMahon of the show. Good point, Johnny. Anyway, here we go. Let's start with mindset.
Johnny has multiple personalities, just so you know.
Oh yeah, like Sybil. Remember that movie with Sally Field? Yeah, mindset. How we think shapes how we feel, and how we feel shapes our actions. We're never going to do anything to manifest our visions if we feel lousy about ourselves. And if we feel lousy about ourselves, it's because of the way we think. And it's the hardest thing. And I know from personal experience, I've heard so many people say to me, "Oh, John, I can't change the way I think." I can't. You can. It's just that you haven't reached that particular point in life that you need to get to in order to make that change.
And Johnny, before you go into that and elaborate, what point are you talking about?
Well, for me, it was loneliness. I was just spending way too much time by myself. And some people, when they come into the world, they hit the ground running, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Lee. These dudes knew exactly what they wanted when they were young men, and they went for like a couple of Terminators. But my hallucination is that they are the exceptions to the rule. I think that there are more people like myself, maybe I'm hallucinating, I know I'm not the only one, who want to do something really cool. It's usually something creative, right? Whether it's writing or acting or dance or doing a podcast or being a sculptor. But we're afraid to, because we're afraid it's going to be a waste of time. Sorry to spat.
No, we're afraid of failure. We're afraid of ridicule.
Creative criticism, right? All these obstacles that we put in our minds, and unfortunately those obstacles are reinforced by external factors. It might be our parents, our teachers, our friends, and some kids have like shields, like the Starship Enterprise. That stuff just bounces right off. I wasn't like that when I was a boy. I was very, as you knew me very well, I was a Charlie Brown kind of kid. I was very sensitive. I took everything personally, and it weighed down upon me, and so that's why it took me such a long time to get to where I am now. I had all the tools, all the cognitive tools that I needed to make changes in my life, but I was not implementing them until, to answer your question from a few minutes ago, my point of no return, I like that, was loneliness. I just got fed up with coming home to my empty apartment, having a bare minimum social life, work, go home, eat, binge eat, watch my DVDs, and do it all over again day after day. When we have it in our mind's eye that tomorrow is going to be the same as today, there's no chance. There's no chance you're going to manifest whatever it is that you want to do with your life. And so I had to go through everything that I went through to get to where I am now. And look, better late than never. There's no going back. We have to move ahead. But if we're not in sync, if there's a variance between who we are and what we want to be, then we have to change the way we think. It's like if your computer doesn't work, you got to get a new computer. Or you got to get new software, right? You got to change what's inside. If you join a gym with the same mindset that you have that got you overweight and out of shape, you're going to quit after a month. You're going to quit. That enthusiasm will peter out because you didn't change your programming.
Right.
So my programming boils down to God. God is watching. He's my dad, and I want to make my dad happy. I want my dad to be proud of me.
Well, and Johnny, we've talked about this many times in the past, and the white light of love is God to many, because it is a white light. Johnny likes to call him his, what do you call it?
My morning star and yellow sun.
I love that.
I don't know where morning star. Some people say morning star refers to the devil, but look, God takes in context. I hope so anyway.
Yeah,
so,
and
yellow sun, I call him my yellow sun because the yellow sun is the source of Superman's powers.
Right.
If you take away the yellow sun, he's just a regular guy.
Right. Well, let's just stay on topic. We've done many comic book and Marvel and DC related things. Let's talk about health. Okay. Superman ain't going to help us, but you know what can help us? The Superman that we can be.
Absolutely.
And we all can be a Superman, as crazy as that might sound to all of us. We're considered by society, Johnny and I, we always have a laugh about this. But at the end of the day, the first episode was The Art of Longevity, and it was plus 55 and thrive, be alive. And that hasn't changed because Johnny and I are in the 60s, and Jonathan, we're all in the 60s. And so the whole thing is we just wanted to really sort of focus on the art of evolution of health and how is that changing in the decades? How is that changing in society? And how is that changing with the technological advantages? And people are living longer and living better lives, and they're eating better, and they're finding out the blue zones where
living longer, and the quality of life is improving. I
mean, everything is improving. If you're 100 and you still have your capacities and you can afford to actually be alive and eat, and this is the biggest struggle for people getting older and living longer, is they just can't afford society anymore. Look what's going on right now. But at the end of the day, there's so many things we can talk about. And one of the things that for me started my whole thing, and I've been an active human being, an athletic, profoundly athletic in all sports. I just run, and I did that my whole life, 58 years or whatever. I'm paying for it now because my knees are shot. My right knee's shot, and I just trained a new client. I still volunteer basketball, but I also teach basketball. And sort of like the Canadian shot doctor, and I worked out my new client 90 minutes, and I got home, and I'm like bouncing all over the walls. I'm like, my knee feels great. I woke up this morning, and it sounded like I was making walnuts inside both of my knees and ankles.
Ouch.
I mean, seriously. And so there are ways to slow that pain down, but at the end of the day, I think the key
Here.
is move the body daily.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
even if you're not working out in your mind's eye, but you're doing yoga or you're stretching in the morning or stretching at night, and or you're watching TV and you're on the elliptical, wow, what a great way to work out. Or you're going to the park and you listen to one of those audiobooks or listen to a YouTube channel for 45 minutes and just get lost in education and movement. But move the body. The longevity reason, because this is sort of a continuation of part 1 with Jonathan J. Brown at episode 61 on the art of longevity, is circulation. This is why we talk about move the body. What is the body like? Circulation. The heart is pumping oxygen throughout your entire system. It helps increase your positive mood, or the possibility of having a positive mood without coffee induced or anything else that might be induced. If you're a wake and baker, I understand, but it's that might not be the program for many. Brain health. I mean, think about it. People don't even talk about the brain. One of the most amazing organs in mankind's creation.
Exercise our minds too.
Sorry?
We have to exercise our minds too.
Well, this is the whole thing. There's so much information, Johnny, and again, we're not doctors. We're just, my family's been in the vitamin business for 70 years. I've been an athlete all my life. If you've seen our shows, Johnny and I are in our 60s, and we feel like we're in our 40s, whatever that means these days. I don't know. But just to finish this up, at the end of the day, when you talk about circulation, mood, and brain health, at the end, if you want to take a lighter view on that in terms of a little comedic swing on things, so you can still get off the couch with making that old man noise. And you know what I mean? Like I was talking about cracking walnuts. I had to come up with something fresh, but every single time I get up from my couch, or maybe even after this show, because of 58 years of being an athlete all my life, both my knees are shot, and I have cartilage. I have muscle atrophy like any senior person would, but and I'll talk about that more later, but at the end of the day, that was my number one. Johnny, what are you going next?
Okay, well, that was very eloquent and very excellent. Okay, second on my list is avoid negative people. And this is a controversial point, and if people disagree, that's absolutely fine, because the Canadian Pro Show is about diversity and tolerance. Because we're Canadian, damn it! Yeah.
And we're probably two of the more malleable Canadians you'll ever meet. Because if you go off on us, we'll just say, "Oh, I'm all right, mate. You're all right." Like, we'll give you a hug. Hey, how can we help? Can I buy you a coffee? Anyways, go on. It's just so true.
So second on the list, and it's a really long one. I mean, I have enough for a future episode.
It's okay.
Installment. Yeah, we owe it to ourselves to avoid negative people, and this includes family members. Now, again, some people will bristle at that. I absolutely get it. A lot of people say family is family, and that's fine. But for me, I completely disagree. If there's someone in your life who's a blood relative, and they're just nothing but bags of anxiety and stress and negativity, and all they can talk about is their pet peeves, and if they're actively trying to dissuade you from pursuing your goals, then you really owe it to yourself, I feel, to minimize the amount of time you spend with those people, because I think that everyone does have a little bit of sensitivity, and we're vulnerable to that stuff. At the end of the day, we're all our own worst self-critics, but when we get it on the outside, it can wear us down if we need to. We need to surround ourselves with like-minded people. They're out there, with the internet especially. You just have to dig through the rough to find the diamonds. And I would suggest to people that it's better to be alone than to associate with people just because you want to have people in your life who are just not the kinds of people that... Remember Saturday Night Fever? You remember John Travolta? He's hanging out with his buddies, right? And remember his buddies? They're all a bunch of complete morons, right? They're popping pills.
So I was gonna interject and say, Travolta's character wasn't hanging out with these guys because he was hanging out because he was the coolest guy in the bar.
He was the leader, and he knew he was the leader. But he also knew that he was the smartest. He also knew
and the sexiest and the best dancer.
And the best and the coolest. And that's why we're rooting for him, because he's the only one out of that pack of losers who had a chance, to do something with his life, and he knew, like, he had that self-awareness, but he's still hanging out with these guys again because he's a leader and because they look up to him, and he likes
Because he's
that.
trying to get out of that, is what he's trying to do.
He is at the same time, which is interesting because it's a complex dynamic. But he likes that they're sucking up to him and that they respect him, but he hates being around them. He's like, I need to ditch these guys because I have a very special talent that the world needs to see. So that movie, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, that's the first restricted movie my parents took me to Saturday Night Fever.
It was amazing when I finally got to see that.
Right, because his character has such a fascinating arc. He's not very likable at the start, but he kind of learns and grows and evolves, and by the end of the movie, he's a better version of himself.
Great movie. It changed my whole world. I went from St. Augustine's at 12 years old, from Bayview to Kitsilano, and we knew each other before that. And that movie, when I think about 1977, that is the first movie that comes to my head because it changed my whole life, man.
Yeah, I think it changed a lot of our lives.
Oh,
so what's next on your list?
Well, that was really nice, and that brought back some memories, Johnny.
Good. Memories.
No, I just, and so the other thing about longevity is if you're actually able to actually have a good conversation about longevity, it could be, depending where you are in the world, you could be 35 somewhere in this world, and you're considered 75 in the rest of the world, but only because that place is a hellhole or whatever. And you're just not guaranteed. And of course, decades or centuries ago, people's survival rates, longevity wasn't really. No one talked about longevity.
It's a toothache.
Well, no, it's kind of like the current administration in the United States.
Oh, here we go.
The chief moron in charge doesn't even know what affordability actually means, and yet he's trying to talk to. I mean, it's crazy. But at the end of the day, people survive longer because more often than not, based on luck and hard work or good genes or a combination of all of those. But one of the key things as you get older is muscle atrophy, and you have to rebuild the muscles. So doing weights and calisthenics, Johnny does it every day to start the day. He's doing stretching, sit-ups, push-ups, arm bells, and he's prepping and he's lubricating the machine, the vessel.
Family friendly, bro. Bow, 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 bow.
So strength, in my opinion, and it's working for me because I believe in it, and that's what I'm saying, and that's why it's number 2 on the list, is longevity insurance. And the longevity reason is, as I was mentioning, muscle mass prevents frailty, or certainly slows it down. And I'll leave it at that, because as you get older, people are falling over and they're breaking hips and bones, and they're not getting the vitamin D, they're not getting the supplements, or and so there's so many things. But just based on that comedy reason, because at 55 the groceries are heavier and the kids won't help.
They're too busy texting.
They don't care.
Can I ask you a question? What's your vitamin
regime?
Take?
Yeah, really quick. I'll just give you a quick breakdown. I do a plus 55, of course. Multivitamin that is supposedly in the top 10 of plus 55 men. Senior vitamins. It's a multivitamin for the entire day, but it doesn't. You have to supplement the multi. And so the first thing I do is I make a power shake of kefir and blueberries, a banana, an organic egg, and then I add 6 or 7 different powders. And I could go into it, but most people don't care. You can buy them in just one if you want, but I do it differently because mine are all organic. And then I add blueberries, frozen blueberries, and my vitamin, and I blast that as my power shake. And then when I pound that down, usually after my 10K in the morning, because I do 10K on my bike, just, like 42 minutes, whatever. Boom, bang it out and get it done. Get in, have a power shake, vitamin, do some calisthenics, or just go to the shower and clean up and start the day. But vitamin and multi, and then I've got lysine because it gives you all the amino acids. I've got Q10, which is for heart health. vitamin D, vitamin B, vitamin B12. I've got a vitamin C, which I a double dose on. I have what is the one for my knee? The magnesium, the sulfate. It's for my knees. I take 1,000 grams of that, and
Magnesium is good for regularity.
so, no, I have no because the way I eat and work out and do my vitamins and how I live. Being regular is part of the art of evolution of health.
We don't want to gross anyone out, but it's a fact of life.
Well, it is, but I mean, you can have a very healthy fact of life experience as well. And actually, if you pay attention to those movements, no, you can actually learn a lot from what's coming out of your body. But more importantly, what are you putting in your body?
Most important, yeah.
Yeah.
I take vitamin C, vitamin D, B12, because I only eat meat twice a week.
Yeah.
You need to take B12 if you're a vegan, folks. If you're a vegan and you're not eating meat, you need to take a B12. And I take omega-3, the fatty acid.
Cool. So what's your next one?
Okay, my next on my list is vices. I believe that human beings are meant to have vices. We're not meant to be stoics. If you want to be a stoic, if you want to be a Jack LaLanne, who's absolutely one of my idols, absolutely one of the most extraordinary men who ever lived, if you want to live your life vice-free, I think that's fantastic. But for me, for the way I live my life, I have my vices, and I enjoy them on the weekend because I feel like I've earned them. I work really hard Monday to Friday. My job is very physically demanding. I'm writing, I'm working out, doing the podcast with you. I'm going for it. So when it comes to Saturday and Sunday, I like to go to a karaoke bar near my place. I have a few beers, I have a good time, and I don't feel the least bit guilty about it. So I tell myself, you know what? I earned this. This is my reward for the commitment that at least to some degree, I don't follow up on everything that I do, as you sometimes remind me. At the end of the day, we're only human, but certainly much more than before 2019 when I was a total couch potato. So yes, have your vices, but you must be in control of them and not the other way around. Yeah. And that's why some people are never going to manifest their dreams, because all they want to do is smoke and drink and do drugs, and all they want is their quick fix. And I deal with these people every day at work, and it's very sad, and I feel a tremendous compassion for them. They must be suffering so much emotionally, but they're going to die very young if they don't get professional help. That's the only solution. When you're that out of control, you need someone on the outside detox to get you out of it.
As we always say at the Canadian Bro Show, get professional help if you can. There's people out there that will help you and change your world.
There you go.
And Johnny, thank you for not sharing your vices, because this is an adult show, and we don't want to be in any problems.
I don't have any vices that
nobody. I didn't say that. I just said thank you for not sharing them, because I know what they are. And it's best it's not said. If you're not wanting to share, that's great. I have no problem with that. But I always appreciate your candor. For me, just turning 61, I've noticed one thing, really a change that happened in the last, I can't tell you exactly when, maybe more recently, in the last couple of years, maybe. Because, psychologically, when you change your number, that's a number that society's given you, your birth number, and then how many birthdays you've had, and this is where you are, and all of a sudden you're made like completely useless in society because you're considered a senior citizen. People, and if people don't go around saying your name or age, we only say it because we're trying to let people know that yes, I am 61 and Johnny's 60 and Jonathan just turned 60. Is you can be extremely healthy in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
I'm healthier now than when I was in my 20s.
Me too. Well, I don't know about that. But anyways. So one of the things that's really important, and you can never not be reminded, and people as you get older, they have a hard time sleeping. And for me, sleep, the real anti-aging serum. Longevity reason. Well, it's enough said. I don't need to get into sleeping, but I sleep. If I get 6 hours straight of sleep, I'm good. And I might need if I don't, I get 4 or 5. I might take a power nap for an hour in the afternoon or whatever. But just to recharge, but no, not a problem. The longevity reason is you've got to heal the vessel from abusing it and using it with vices or not during the day. And how are you going to do that? After working a long, hard day, after trying to sing in a public karaoke bar with 6 pints in you and it's not working out, but because you've had 6 pints, you don't really care. You just want to have a good sleep when you get home. And the comedy reason for the I always try to add a little humor because this is a comedy broadcast. Whether we're successful or not, we'll find out. But in the meantime, we enjoy it and we love comedy. It basically, sleep also repairs the damage you did by scrolling social media and TikTok and watching YouTube until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, eating ice cream sandwiches, fudgicles.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes I had an apple. Hey, Johnny, I had an apple fritter last night, and I said, you know what? Fluck it. I'm going to eat this apple fritter.
Oh, you enjoyed it.
I had to get up early, and I worked out my client for an hour and a half at the YMCA in Central Kelowna, and I felt great. Only because people have no idea rebounding for a teenager for 90 minutes is a huge workout. You have no idea. Because there's more misses than makes. We'll leave it at that. There's room for improvement.
Very good.
Anyways.
Okay.
What do you got next?
Okay, well, we've talked about this at length already, so this might be a little bit repetitive, but next on my list is basically just exercise. If you're feeling depressed, beautiful viewers, just get up and move around. That's really all you need to do. If you're sitting around feeling sorry for yourself and regretting the past and worrying about the future and letting everyone else's reverse philosophies weigh you down like albatrosses around your neck, for goodness sakes, just go outside and move your body. You'll start breathing deeper. As Paul brilliantly and eloquently noted earlier, your circulation will improve. It's all about movement. It's all about circulating. A rolling stone gathers no moss, right? It's a trite thing to say, but it doesn't make it any less true. You don't have to spend a whole ton of money at the gym. In fact, I think that's probably
Just get active. Just find something you want to do, but do it every day.
Right.
And then let it evolve.
If you drive to work every day, how about finding a parking space that's 5 blocks from where you work? Or, take the stairs instead of the elevator.
Or get an electric bike.
Yeah, I mean, so many people shell out so much money joining a gym. And I've done this like 5 times in my life, Fitness World and community centers. And again, I would have this initial enthusiasm, but it would peter out. I have the weights at home. They're there. I have my yoga mats. I had my chin-up bar. I had to remove it for fear of eviction. But for goodness sakes, keep it simple. And if you haven't exercised for years and years, and you join a gym and you hit the weights for 3 hours, how are you going to feel the next day? You're going to feel like crap. You're not going to be able to move your arms and legs, and that's going to deter you from exercising. So everyone who's living a sedentary lifestyle right now, first of all, it's not too late. I did that for the better part of 35 years. I'm a living example that it's not too late. And secondly, just keep it simple and take baby steps. You're not going to get a university education overnight. You're not going to become a best-selling author overnight. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process.
Johnny, a lot of the people that you're talking about are actually, they're aware of that. But sometimes they just need to be reminded of how it works.
When I was a young man, I met so many people who gave me great advice. But I agreed with it, and it all made sense to me. But I was having too much fun living the way that I was living. Yeah. And so, unfortunately, I got addicted to the way I was living. And again, it wasn't until 2019 when finally everything that I learned from all those self-help books, I started implementing. Because at my mind's eye, that's someone who loves me. And again, if you don't believe God, if the idea of God is too esoteric...
No, but we talked about this, Johnny. Johnny's learned to not just invite whatever his spiritual guidance is into his vessel, but he's actually learned what most people can't do, and that is to truly love themselves, allow the opportunity to truly, and we talked about this in episode 61.
Accept your flaws.
It's so difficult for so many people, but Johnny and I, we get it. We got it. We do it. It's great. It works. And so the next one to do, sorry, I missed that, Johnny.
That's okay. I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
If you have it in your mind's eye that someone who loves you is watching you all the time, I have found this to be a great motivator. If you can't do what you want to do for yourself, then do it for them. And have it in your mind's eye how proud they're going to be of you. That you
Just
wrote
do it
that.
for anyone, man. Don't expect anything. Just do it. Just be kind. Anyways, good point. My next thing is really important, and I wrote these and thought about this for a 61 episode, but we had such a profound amount of unbelievable content. So if you want to see the first part to this episode and a follow-up, and we've done this intentionally, is something that a lot of people have a hard time with, and I certainly have, and that stress is all around us. And everybody has their own subjective interpretation, I say this a lot, about how stress is to them. Stress can be an absolute soul-destroying dilemma in somebody's world, psychologically, sociologically, physically, mentally, in every possible way. And it causes cancer. It causes the demise of the human spirit and soul, because we spend all of our time worrying about stress and being, inundated by signals and lights and computers and phones and everything, your work, the whole thing. And really, at the end of the day, this is as you get older, you already made it this far. So you're 6 decades into your life thus far. The clock is still going. We're all on the clock. And who knows how much we have left. Stress management. Longevity reason, I'll just leave it at that. Cortisol wrecks hormones. Sugar causes cancer. I'll just leave those two things because they're synonymous. Comedy. If you can find comedy in those two comments. Yelling at strangers in...
Oh, sorry, just bagging.
No, it's okay. Your timing is terrible sometimes.
Sorry.
Especially when I'm trying to do a comedy thing.
Right.
Right? Come on, man. Get with the program, bro. Like when we blow up, you'll get a salary. Okay? Sorry, our budget's thin on this thing, okay? We're comedy reason. Yelling at strangers in traffic does not count as cardio.
No.
Some people think. I've had people go off at me and I'm like, dude, and when they went off of me in their veins, I was like, well, you didn't have an aneurysm. That's good. You're still standing. Your eyes are pink now and red and blood infused, and you want to strangle me. Can I just ask you a quick question? Do you feel better? And then run. Because they'll kill you. Like, it's just insane. But I always...
Art technique, run away.
No, humor. Humor, Johnny. When we say it's a comedy podcast about health, come on, man. Let's try to find some ways to do it. But that is, that's mine. What's your next?
Okay. Let me check on my phone here. He's making a list, checking it twice. Well, we've touched on this already, but I'll just augment it a little bit. Avoid negative emotions. The moment you start to feel bad about yourself, the moment you start to think about your coworkers' habits that bug you, or you watch something on the news that brings you down, you got to nip that in the bud right away.
Easier said than done for people, Johnny.
It's easier than dead, but you'd be like that old Dick Tracy cartoon. Hold everything. Dick Tracy calling Go-Go Gomez. You hit that stop button, and you just go. You shift your mind in a different direction. Read a self-help book. Phone a friend. Do something to get you out of that mindset, because if you linger there, if you wallow in those feelings, they will disempower you. And
I would recommend a few others. I think it's really important you said this. I was waiting. I knew you would, because you brought it up before. But just to continue, a quick interjection, Johnny. Self-help group. I went to a couple because of what I was going through at that time in my life, and had some very good experiences, better than I expected. But the fear of walking into the unknown is the reason why you're dealing with the anxieties that you have now.
100%.
Walk through the white light of love and take care of yourself. Sorry, it hit me so hard when you said that, bro.
I agree.
Thank you.
So what, these self-help groups that you went to, like, what did you talk about?
Anger management. I've been to because my family's Irish and Icelandic, I've been through quite a few different self-help groups, 12-step groups, in a variety of different ways, just to help support the family member of their discovery and recovery, hopefully, and perhaps mine to a lesser extent. Mostly anger, mostly vices, but also when you're raised in a dysfunctional family, and what I mean, not all family is perfect. We grew up the same, single-parent moms in the 60s and 70s, and I honestly think my youth was better than I could have ever asked for myself personally. Reflecting on it, I have a really good memory. I remember everything. I remember stories. I remember I remember which unit you lived in your building. I know where your bedroom was in the mind. I know where Mike was, where he lived across the street. It's weird, bro. I don't know what it is.
Rentals. I remember hanging out with you and Ryan. I remember hanging out with you and Ryan up and playing guns.
We used to do every week. 3 times a week we'd do like kick the can, or team tag, or whatever the kids were doing. Those are the 2 I can only remember, right? But I mean, it was incredible. The next one's really important, and all of mine flow into because of this is all what I'm doing. Everything that I'm talking about is what I'm doing because I'm not a doctor, but I am I'm not a health freak, but I'm a systematic dude. Like I work out every day, like Johnny. And so maybe, aside from a lot of luck, Johnny, and maybe from good fortune, I don't know how many life-death experiences you might have had in your life, but I've had certainly more than I'd like to even share it. That's a topic for another episode, I think. Well, we talked about that. We did talk about it, but a lot of people have a hard time talking about that stuff, right?
I think we dodge a lot of bullets and we're not even aware of it.
Oh, trust me.
Every time we step off a curb, a car misses us by half an inch.
So the bullet you can dodge, the bullet that you can dodge is the one that you can avoid. And when it comes to feeding the vessel, is eat like an adult. Because I certainly wasn't eating like an adult when I was a kid.
Me too.
It was a mess. I was Slurpees and chips and garbage. Cans of Chef Boyardee and Kraft Dinner.
Yeah, I remember
Come on, man. That's not food.
We were Slurpee junkies when we were kids.
I'm telling you.
Cream
and
soda.
So, yeah, well, every time I sit down and I try to think about what was I thinking about that memory in the 70s. What was I doing? Mom would go to Safeway across the street once a week and buy a certain amount of stuff. And if you didn't get the ice cream right away, that thing was gone. My sister would have wolfed that thing. She would have left you 4 spoonfuls at the bottom and then argue.
Pop-Tarts?
Oh, God, the worst garbage.
Box.
And then, oh my God, that's a whole different episode, Johnny. We could talk about crap. But let me talk about eating like an adult. And just because you're an adult doesn't mean you're smart. But at least the opportunity for us have the opportunity now that we are supposedly adults, and in some cases, some eyes, we're senior citizens, is the longevity reason is because nutrients, fiber, protein, and healthy fats. Honestly, if you just do that, let's not talk about filtered water and exercise and all the other stuff we're talking about, but if you just focus on those 3-4 things, it's unbelievable how it works. And that's how I incorporate mine. And I think, Johnny, as a friend, I think you could eat healthier. That's all I'm going to leave. Comedy reason. This is for Johnny. Because he posted a piece of his snack that he had at a break at work. Comedy reason. Pizza is not a food group.
It is for me on the weekend.
Tragic, but true.
I only eat pizza on my days off, bro.
Dude, if I was to show you the photo of this thing, it's like a piece of pizza has been there for 3 days. It had 4 pieces of the worst possible low-grade pepperoni and not even real cheese. It was manufactured somewhere.
When I get home before bed, believe it or not, I have a piece of garlic and I have a piece of beet.
Yeah.
Garlic boosts our immunity.
Look, I'm just having some fun at your expense. This is a comedy podcast. No, but look, people don't realize that Johnny at his peak was 260, and what are you now? 170?
170 on a good day.
Right. So that's 90 pounds. Nobody is going to tell him anything different. He's lost 90 pounds. He's still alive and healthy.
Right. Before 2019, my weight yo-yoed like crazy. I think my peak.
Nobody cares, Johnny. Let's move on.
Okay. Nobody does it better. Don't pull any punches, Paul. Don't beat around the bush.
Dude,
okay.
My Frank Candor is one of my favorite fake names.
Frank Candor.
Frank Candor. Think about it.
That's a Lee Hackland character.
I'm telling you, man. That's why I said it, bro.
I'm using it.
Thank you.
You're the writer. I'm just a pretender. Okay,
no, just give me a credit.
I have a lot on my list for the next podcast. If you want to do it, continue this theme. Put a positive spin on everything. Now, I should have Googled this, but the Chinese have a word for a chaos and opportunity mean the same thing in Chinese. And so when we feel like we're sinking into quicksand, when we feel like the floor is disappearing beneath our feet, we're looking at the abyss, for goodness sakes, that is when human beings so often are at their absolute best. Because fear, I mean, we should not live our lives in fear, but when we feel afraid, it can be an incredible motivator. And I think that for me, the fear of dying alone, the fear of never getting married, never writing a book, never doing anything other than working in the service and hospitality industry, those fears were also part of the equation that led me to where I am now. So again, the moment you start thinking negatively, nip it in the bud. Be like Peter Pan. Watch a comedy on YouTube. Watch a cat video. Do something to get you out of that state, because it is like a black. Sorry, I just spat again. It is like a black hole that will suck you in, and it will keep you there. But never forget that more often than not, it takes two to tango. That's why we have free will. If we didn't have free will, there'd be no purpose to our lives. It's okay to slip sometimes. We all do. We all fall off the wagon here and there. I like to piece on the weaknesses, Paul just eloquently pointed out. But for goodness sakes, think positively, and it takes practice. Again, it doesn't happen overnight. Look at what's beautiful about the world. That's why I take pictures of flowers every day. It's part of my continuing therapy. I'm focusing on things.
Yeah, but you've gotten better. As the years gotten on, you've gotten better at it. So the more you do it, the better you get at it, like anything else.
Is the mother of success.
Absolutely. Very, 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 very. You talk about my too eloquent. That was beautiful, man. That touched me a little bit. That's why I love to, when you're comfortable and you let yourself go, Johnny, it's the true writer in you. And you guys, at the end of the episode, Johnny's going to read one of his excerpts from his the main character that he writes. And in the meantime, we're going to go back to, I hope you're enjoying this. If you're enjoying this, as Johnny was just going through that, we are all just floating on the wings of heaven listening. And I just bounced off different logos and a subscribe button. If you're enjoying this, it's free. We appreciate it. That'd be great. We'll leave it at that. Next thing I want to talk about is just on the subject, on the exact same I think about this every day. Everything I've talked about today and all the episodes we're doing in health is what I'm trying to do myself. And that is keeping the brain sharp. Let me think about the longevity reason for keeping your brain sharp. Well, I mean, my God, there could be so many things, right? But neuroplasticity, say that 5 times, keeps cognition young, which leads into the last one I talked about, and that is keeping your mind fresh, keeping away Alzheimer's, keeping away all these things that you just sit around and all of a sudden you start shaking one day and that's it. It's crazy, but is everything that we're talking about, we all could do. You could be 40 and you still need to be doing this now because you don't know how long your time is here. We're all on the clock, as I mentioned earlier, but in the meantime, the comedy reason, if you can find a comedy reason, I mean, cognition keeps... you can be a happy, loving... You know who my favorite 100-year-old person in the world is, Johnny? One of the oldest time actors, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, Dick Van Dyke. That's right.
Dick Van Dyke.
He's an extraordinary man.
If you don't understand what we're trying to talk about, go look. If you've never heard of him, he's old school. He's 100 years old. He's been around for a real time. And he is one of the reasons why we're doing this series of health episodes, mental well-being, spirit, soul, the whole thing. watch one of his interviews. Look at the vitality on this chap.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, his wife is, 65 years younger than him, but,
Exactly.
he's got a lot of money, and I'm not sure if that's how that works, but God bless him. That's all I got to say.
I'm sure she loves him for his personality.
Dude, maybe at 100, he can still find a
Well,
way to enjoy
oh,
all aspects of life.
that's a good next point. Sexual potency. I was
Is,
listening.
is it your turn right now?
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not on my list, but you introduced a segue for me. I was listening to a podcast with one of our favorite people, Kevin Smith, and of
Right.
course, what an extraordinary evolution he went through.
Right.
He was, I think, he was almost 300 pounds at one point in his life, and then he had a heart attack, and that's what it took for
He
him.
was actually over, and he's only 5'7". He was about 360 pounds when he had the heart attack
Huge
at 5'7".
and it nearly killed him, and that's what it took for him. And you look at him now, and he looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's
So
funny how death can scare the shit out of you, eh?
Absolutely can. It's definitely a wake-up call. So I was listening to a podcast where he was the guest, and he talked about how his doctor recommended. I guess he was having I don't want to throw him under the bus or anything, but he was talking about beets and how beets are beet extract is apparently the main ingredient of Viagra. So if we eat beets every day, what they do, and I eat beets every single day for 7 days a week. I love beets. Beets are one of my favorite food. They improves your blood circulation. And so if you're having problems in the sack, guys, it's because your diet is poor, you're not exercising enough, you're stressing, all that stuff combined. But the key thing is your blood is not circulating. So for goodness sakes, don't beat yourself up. Just start eating beets, and you'll feel like you're 14 again.
It's so true. I put beet extract organic in my power shakes when I do my vitamins, and I don't do it for the reasons that you suggested. Not that that's an issue, not yet anyways.
That's okay.
Is that at the end of the day, it does help people that, with myself, have a little bit on the higher end of blood pressure. Beets are amazing for the blood pressure regulation into healthy levels, where if the blood pressure and you have hypertension, you might have not an opportunity to get to a senior level of longevity. And this is what the episode's about, but great points. Great points, Johnny.
What's next on your list, Santa Claus?
Well, I mean, it's funny. It's funny when we do this show, Johnny will do something, and I've seen his list, so maybe subconsciously I remember it somehow. I doubt it, but I do know the vibe of where he's going because of the family being in the vitamin business, and I've been healthy, kind of a healthy dude my whole life, even more so now for sure. Is on what Johnny said, hormones matter. And people don't understand. You could go to, some countries. You could go to someone and say, "Could you tell me about your hormonal activity and how that feels to you?" And they look at you and go, "Is that town near New Hampshire?" I'm just saying. I'll leave it at that. But the longevity reason and all the things that we're talking about attribute to the art of longevity, right? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, there are ways you could be 100 years old and be stone cold broke and still survive if you're 100, if you have that, capacity. Like, the Rastafarian, the Indian guru Rastafarian 100-year-old dudes that sit in the front of the Ganges River and they smoke pot all day. And they just rely on people to give them fruit and food and nuts. And they just get high all day long, and then they talk about God and spirituality and a lot of what we're doing, except we're not actually smoking a blunt or in India. But hormones matter because the longevity reasons is they control the metabolic system that is such a part of the amazing system that is the human body. And that is mood, sex drive, recovery. And that could be in so many different ways. And keep that in mind. Comedy reason, which is why Johnny was on pretty much the same thing as what I just said, and I did the same thing before when he brought up. And comedy reason, blaming everything on aging is lazy. Sometimes it's just low testosterone and too much cheese.
Oh, come on. There's no such thing as too much cheese.
I can personally speak for that. I made homemade craft dinner using gnocchi. and aged cheddar last night, and I'm gonna have that. I could only eat half a bowl. It was
God,
like,
I haven't had craft dinner in so long. I used to eat that with the same. With
no,
the
this
grain,
is organic.
grain.
This is I made it myself
Okay. Oh wow! Like
with
from
almond
scratch.
milk and aged cheddar.
Wow, that sounds scrumptious.
Oh, so I'm gonna have the remainder of it for sure.
Very good. Okay, he's making a list, checking it twice. Here we go. Learn from your mistakes. We've touched on this before. We all make choices in our lives that are a little bit less than ideal. We've all said and done things in our past that we like to hop into the DeLorean and go back and change. But the truth is, we had to do that stuff. We shouldn't go out of our way to make mistakes and to make lousy choices. Obviously, that's self-evident. But we had to make those mistakes in order to learn. Some people live a very long time and they never seem to learn a damn thing. You and I both know people, or we've known people who are just proverbial sticks in the mud. They're more stubborn than the most stubbornest mule. They're not doing themselves or anybody any other favors. So for goodness sakes, just let me have a look at my list one more time. Again, look at your mistakes as a positive experience.
Yeah.
You have a bad day at work, your boss criticizes you unfairly. You have to remember that your boss is looking at the big picture. Never take anything personally. Look at your mistakes objectively, or your choices. Again, you drank too much, or you said a rude thing to your wife, or whatever it was, and don't never say to yourself, "I'll
If
never
you
do
drink
that
too
again."
much, that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
After.
If you say to yourself, "I'll
Saying
never do
something
that
rude
again,"
to your wife and not
Yeah.
realizing it.
well, yeah, I think most guys are aware of it. They just want to get away with it without some retribution.
That's a really good point, I have to admit. Not from my point of view, I'm just saying that, I can see how that could be a possibility.
Yeah. So remember, our mistakes are growth experiences. We're meant to learn. Be like Bruce Lee. Keep your cup empty. Be open to new ideas, new information. Don't just dismiss everything. Don't have a knee-jerk reaction to something that you disagree with it. You might read a book, you might think it's total garbage, but there might be a nugget, there might be a line or a paragraph that could alter the way you look at things, alter your outlook.
Oh,
And
Johnny, you're so deep sometimes, bro. How do you
well.
do it?
I like the sound of my own voice. I guess that's a big reason.
That's the one thing I can say about getting older is you either learn to live alone and be happy with the outcome and be your best friend, or you don't. And I can tell you, option A is better than option B.
It sure is.
And Johnny and I are both late bloomers, and we're both people that are very easily, because of our hobbies, keep us busy. We both enjoy being out in the public. We enjoy the public, absolutely, but we're actually the antithesis of what we've always been, certainly myself, is I enjoy downtime at the house. I'm going to watch hoops after this. I'm going to cook a nice dinner, or the backup from what I had last night. And I love everything because I've been planning this. Like, as we're going along, I'm systematically playing the percentages of trying to find where I'm going to be. And if that's going to be enough for me to find peace and tranquility and serenity and happiness. At the end of the day, if we don't have health and well-being and money, we're going to be in some serious trouble. So where are we at? Is it my go?
Go ahead. Sure. I got one or two more.
Yeah, me too. So this one's about, as you get older, it's about not just hobbies. Hobbies are done, apparently. You could play cards and have a hobby and play cards every week with the same cribbage and poker or whatever, and meet the same friends and so on. But at the end of the day, I want to build a tribe going into my senior years, into my 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And what I mean by is a longevity reason is a connection, literally a connection with many, and being active in groups and hobbies and things that you enjoy. And you can find like-minded friends to be able to do that. The social activity and aspect of life is absolutely transformational. Everyone knows this. And this longevity reason is that connection literally extends a lifespan. Now, people come and go in our lives. and they'll come in and you'll be a friend for 28 years and they'll pass or they'll move on. You never see them again. Such is life. But the joys and the pains of life are that changes all around us. And be open to the connections that come through your life, because all of them are going to offer you something that, whether you're not aware of or you are, or you've been waiting for it, it's going to be beneficial. Whether it turns out bad or good is up to you. But be open to it. And the comedy reason, and that literally expands the lifespan, comedy reason plus your friends will remind you when you ready already told that story for the 15th time.
I do that
right?
a lot.
Yeah, oh, me too. Come on, man. That's why I put it down, because people
I can
tell me all
always
the
tell that
time.
look on someone's face, like, oh crap, feels like the 9th time I've told the story to this person, and they're just barely tolerating.
Flavia Flavia would just roll her eyes, and she goes, "How many times is that?" And she'd say, 174.
Keeping track.
No, I mean, it's not true, but I mean, it's funny, right? Whatever.
Oh well.
What do you got?
Okay, I think I have one. I guess I'm going through the whole list for this one. Here we
Good.
go.
You had a good list, man.
Okay, we did this one already. Okay, trust your instincts. Our instincts are there for a reason.
Intuition.
I do not know what the scientific basis of an instinct is. I believe that our instincts and our souls are in direct alignment. When you have a gut reaction to something, that you better pay attention to it, because it's our spider sense. It's like Peter Parker and his spider sense. And I remember when I was 19 and my dad, my life was going nowhere, and my dad suggested / demanded that I join Pinkerton's, which was a detective and security agency that he managed back in the 70s. I had such an internal reaction. It was almost like my stomach somersaulted, and I ignored it at my peril. And so that's why I've been working the same job for 35 years, because I got used to doing that. Our gut reactions are there for a reason. When you're doing something and it makes you feel good, then you know on track. I know this is such a bloody obvious thing to say, but human nature being what it is, we're all living, many of us are living our lives very stupidly every day, and we know we're living our lives stupidly. And
well, not stupidly. We could live our lives smarter. We could work smarter. We could be smarter.
Attention, if just be aware, have that mindfulness, and pay attention to that feeling in your gut. It's almost like God is telling us, you don't want to do this. You don't want to stick that needle in your arm. Don't do it. You're selling yourself short, and you're also making everyone who cares about you miserable too.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely, 100%.
Be like Obi-Wan. Trust your feelings.
I mean, that's why I love doing this, because you know what, folks, we're not telling anyone what to do. We're just reminding you of what you probably already all know. Sometimes a gentle nudge, a little angel coming and putting their hand around your shoulder and saying, just follow this way.
There.
Yeah, man. And really just beautiful. That's why I love it. I've only got a couple more myself to finish things up. We're hitting an hour, but this is one, when I came out with the title, I was like, oh, God. People want to hear the truth, but sometimes they don't want to hear the truth expressed.
They want to hear the truth that makes them feel good.
or a better adjective chosen so that truth is not so absolutely soul destroying to that individual, right? Being delicate about how to communicate. So this one here, I'll just go out and say, embrace discomfort as you get older. Whether you're in great shape or not, it's still a journey. Your vessel is getting older. You only have a certain time here. Some people last longer than others. Some are more malleable. Some are in better shape. Some don't have good genes. Some have a bad attitude. Some have never worked out in their entire life. Longevity reason. Stress resilience keeps the system young. Stem cells don't magically grow. However, blood cells do. And if you start taking care of the vessel by what you're putting in the vessel, food, drink, sleep, all the things that Johnny and I have talked about, not only during this important episode, but previous important episodes. This is about your health. If you want to be here for an extended period of time, there's no guarantee. All you can do is do everything you possibly can to put yourself in the right position to succeed percentage-wise. No guarantees, but it does help. Comedy reason. Cold plunges equal the only time men willingly shriek in public.
What? Is that a
Cold
haiku?
plunges. Have you ever in Scandinavian countries they jump into like
No.
ice and frozen water?
No, thank you. Not a
No,
chance.
and
I
but
used to take the cold showers. I used to do the ice cold showers. I got sick
Yeah.
every time. I got sick I said, no, I'm not doing this. It don't work for me. I guess it works for some people.
oh, you know what? It works for a lot of people, and it's science. It actually works. But you know, have you ever seen a grown man that's muscular jump into like the New Year's
I have.
Eve down in English Bay, and he comes out, he's screaming like a girl, and he's running. Oh my God!
You can think of one
Is it me or you now?
You go next. I only
All
have
right.
one or two more.
I think this is my last one,
Okay. That's your
and
last
this
one?
is my favorite one.
Okay. The best for
Because
last.
I engage in this. Well, no, they're all favorite to me because every one of these I live. Like I literally do at every
You walk
single.
your talk.
What's that?
You walk your talk.
Well, I do what I got to do. And it's what I know and what I believe in. Spiritual fitness. People always talk about a spiritual awareness. Spiritual awareness is you coming to our show and saying, you know what? These guys are fun. They're light. It's free. And it's a good reminder. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have a power shake tomorrow morning when I get up. I'm not going to have a coffee. I'm going to have a green tea instead to give me caffeine and natural, organic, and not drink, Starbucks $8 coffee, blah, 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 blah. It just,
That's an indulgence on my part, my Starbucks coffee.
right? Right? And so
I like
spiritual fitness, longevity reason, purpose gives meaning to health. Health gives the meaning to a purposeful life moving forward. They're one of the same. It's Taoist, right? Comedy reason. Without it, you're just a jacked philosopher with no Wi-Fi.
No, that was eloquent.
Yeah, buddy. And that's it. That's all I have.
Okay.
And
I have one more, and then I'm done.
okay.
Okay. One of my favorite songs that I like to sing at karaoke is by New Radicals, and it's called "You Only Get What You Give." If you want to have a good life, you have to be giving, you have to be generous, you have to be brave, you have to be willing to fail, to fall on your face, to look like a fool sometimes. If you're not willing to do that, then forget about it. You know, whatever it is you want to do with your life, it's not going to happen. If you want love, you have to be loving. You have to give love. If you give hate, guess what? That's what you're going to get in return. If
Well,
you're pissed off all
not
the
necessarily.
Time,
Although,
more often than not, I feel.
although for a few people, vengeance should come significantly more than most.
Well, they did for the bride in those Kill Bill movies. What did they-
Wow,
Right.
those are so. Part one, my God, those are good.
Tarantino is actually re-releasing those movies as one movie. It's called the whole,
I heard-
it's called Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, and it's going to have, which is a great title,
Yeah.
and it's going to have that great fight scene with David Carradine has.
Yeah.
With Jai White that I saw
Yeah.
on the DVD.
Oh my God, man! There's going to be a lot of blood and gore, man. It's going to be awesome.
I saw the trailer and I almost threw up.
No, not me. I love that stuff. But anyways,
Yeah, so you only get what you give. Be giving. If you're not happy in your life, it's because you're not sharing yourself. You have to take risks. You have to fail and learn from your failures. If you want to live the same day after day, and if you're happy, but when people say that to me, I nod politely because I'm Canadian, but I think they're full of crap. There's a secret sorrow that they're keeping buried inside, and I'm happy the way. No, you're not happy. Everyone knows you're not happy. You're not fooling anyone other than yourself. So be
Johnny,
willing
that's
to
almost
give it.
everybody, bro.
You'll get it back. It is unfortunately a large number of the population.
Yeah.
Today. And I'm not judging because I used to be one of those people, and at the end of it, none of us were angels. But I'm certainly much more of a self-believer and a manifester than ever before. And everyone, it's not too late. I didn't make changes in my life until I was 53.
No.
And if I live my life all over again, and I have to live my life exactly the same way to get to where I am now, all worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Wow.
That's my last point.
You heard it. You heard it here and now by Mr. Johnny Leister, the co-host of The Most at the Canadian Bro Show on YouTube podcast. I'm telling you, that was profound. It's been an unbelievable show. But before we go, Johnny and I like to do a segment where we like to read. We're both voracious readers, not quite like Johnny because I have less time in the day, it seems, or maybe I want to make less time in the day. Who knows? But Johnny is a professional writer, and I'm just kind of a hack. No, I'm a little bit more than a hack, but whatever. And this book, I've got a whole bunch of books. I just rotate them when I find time. I read a chapter and just catch up and try to catch up on all. It's how I read. It's weird. But before we do that, Johnny, do the books, do you want to do a pun?
Sure. Actually, if we have time,
do you want to read? Do you want to read a chapter?
Sure.
Okay, please, everybody. We've been doing this, incorporating the last 5-6 episodes. And Johnny, before you do that, if you could just slow down and let everybody know what you're going to read, and it's really quite good. And tell them about the time frame and just a synopsis.
I write a series of detective stories called Lee Hacklin, Private Investigator. They're set mostly during the 1970s. Lee is in his 20s. He's good looking, he's handsome, he's debonair, he's charming, he's a smoker, drinker, and a skirt chaser, but he's got a heart of gold and he likes to help people. And my latest Lee Hacklin is called Armored Car Wars. Here we go, chapter 1.
And just wait before you start, this is in the Manhattan in the 70s?
New York City, 1970s. And here we go, chapter 1.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. Please accept my humblest apologies in advance for pointing out what's plain to see. Your admittedly sleek and stunning silver Porsche is parked in a space reserved for handicapped people like myself. As you can see, sir, my Pinto, yet to explode by God's good grace, has a handicap decal hanging from the rearview mirror. Yours does not. With all the respect and magnanimousness I can muster, would you please park in another space? This one is a stone's throw away from the main entrance. You can walk. I cannot, due to a bullet in my spine, courtesy of the Viet Cong. You mean freedom fighter. So you're one of those baby killers, huh? You think you served your country? Ha! The only thing you served is the military-industrial complex. Listen, Gimpy, I'm only going to be a minute. Cool your jets, copy? What's that on your hip? A colostomy bag? Oh, you're disgusting. Too bad that VC didn't aim higher. By the way, go F yourself. SATURDAY. I could be in my Queens studio apartment right now watching the Bay City Rollers. Instead, I was in the parking lot of my local Safeway in Queens on a shopping errand for my sick with a flu mom. Try to keep your manhood extension in your holster, dear. The floor at Safeway is white. That's a hint, dear. Don't forget the Vicks Vapor Rub. Achoo! I parked my sweet ride next to the Porsche and lit. The peace-loving driver turned and looked on me. He was tall, fat, middle-aged, clad in plaid, and a gold medallion hung from his froggy neck. I gave him my toothiest grin. There are plenty of available parking spaces, sir. The good man here is right. You, sir, are an effing jackass. Oh yeah? How about you go make friends with your left hand before I rearrange your face, Goldilocks? I shortened the distance between his balls and his third chin. Then I drove his look at me mobile to a nearby junkyard. I'm friends with the owner, a reformed car thief who owes me a favor or two. I parked the Porsche on a metal platform, stepped out, hopped off, pressed a green button, and smoked a blue buzzard as the compactor crushed it. Sorry, babe. Now I know how Travis felt when he put down Old Yeller.
Oh my God. Obviously, Johnny's enjoying his own writing. But it is so good. Now, it's a continuation of this cat who is definitely an extension of Johnny. And it's like, for those that are our age, Jan Michael Vincent was a very popular actor in the 70s and 80s. And he's basically, if you see him with the parted hair and that whole 70s vibe and a Browning and bad clothes and a chain smoker who thinks he thinks he's the man's. Johnny's been writing. How many of those have you written now?
I stopped. I don't mean to beat my chest about it, but I stopped counting after 100.
Wow.
Now they're getting shorter and shorter. The one I published today, which is called "Who Killed Captain Skyward," was about 20 pages. So they're getting to be more like episodes of a long-running television series.
Yeah.
Brevity is a solo wit. Here's my book. I bought this at Indigo Books yesterday. I've read it 3 times. Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove.
Oh man!
Absolutely one of the best novels ever written.
Yeah,
and it was made into an amazing miniseries. Did you see that miniseries with Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones? Oh. And the miniseries is like a literal like almost word for word, a literal adaptation of the book.
It's funny. I've got one of her books here as well. And I love that series. I'm a huge Robert Duvall fan, and the television series. A lot of people, it snuck up. I had cable back then, and it was absolutely incredible. And I
Anybody who's
believe
interested, it's on Tubi. You can watch it for free on Tubi.
exactly. Thank you for that. And also after the TV series, they made a movie, or maybe they did the movie before the TV
There
series.
was a spin-off with Bret Hart.
No, I think they did a movie before they got the TV series. Lonesome Dove. It was, anyways, incredible. Yeah, book. So I haven't finished it, like many, because I'm going chapter by chapter. But this, I'm as it says in below the photos, this is the full fee agent. A lot of people don't want to talk about fees when it comes to agents or being realtors. And it is from the Roman McNally brothers of Danny and Eddie. I brought it up about 3 times on the show.
Friends.
And I read every once in a while. I'm waiting for spring to come so I can set the patio up, get the barbecue going, and I can go sit out and read for a couple hours and have a burger and a vino tea and just chill. And but it's a great book, and I love it. And if you want something that's really a quick read about real estate, and you're in real estate, and maybe you're thinking about getting out of real estate, I would highly recommend checking this out. Johnny, before we go, you got a pun.
I do. Yesterday, I quit my job as a personal trainer. I gave the gym my 2-week notice. You're welcome.
Jesus. Well, we like to leave on a high here at the Canadian Bro Show, and to keep everyone just motivated and educated and enthralled the whole hour and 10 minutes or whatever it is. But thank you very much for joining us. My name's Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show, and thanks for joining us in episode 62, All Things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny. And to my left and your right is Mr. John Leister, the co-host of the Canadian Bro Show, one of the most talented Canadian writers I know and a friend of over 53 years.
I don't.
Thank you for joining. I'm going to remove us from the screen because we're going to close up with my show, and you have a look at my real estate solutions, vancityurbanliving.ca. Johnny, in the meantime, thank you very much. Have yourself a great night. We'll talk to you sooner than later.
Cheers.
And take care, bro. Thanks. And I'm going to be doing the same. So let me just, I want you to hear one of our different songs. Huh? Okay. Thanks for joining. Johnny, I got the music going. One sec. I'm removing myself from